The movie opens like a sweet Valentine's Day dream. A young couple sits in the park, surrounded by red balloons, roses, and soft laughter. The guy kneels down, holding a ring, and the girl can barely contain her smile. Everything feels perfect until a shadow falls over them. What they don't know is someone's watching. A man with a camera zooms in from behind the trees, capturing their love. The guy gets a call. It's the cameraman, complaining that the pictures didn't turn out right. He wants them to redo the proposal scene. The couple laughs it off and agrees to do it. But the second time isn't romantic. It's deadly. As the photographer lifts his camera again, an arrow flies, straight through the lens, piercing his eye and bursting out the back of his head. He dies instantly. The killer picks up the cameraman's phone and calls the couple. The boyfriend thinks it's just the photographer again, so he answers. The girl grabs the phone, frustrated. But what she hears next isn't a voice. It's a recording. The moment she turns around, another arrow slices through the air, straight into her boyfriend's skull. He drops dead in front of her. She screams. Before she can even process what's happening, another arrow flies at her. She runs for her life, stumbling across the park. She hides behind a car, shaking, trying to catch her breath. Everything goes quiet, and for a split second, she thinks maybe it's over. But it's not. The killer steps into view, calm and methodical. She runs again, limping and crying as another arrow hits her leg. She falls and crawls into a nearby factory, a winery. Inside, she pleads with the security guard, "Please help me! He's going to kill me!" The guard draws his gun, shouting for the killer to stop. But the masked man doesn't even hesitate. He flicks his wrist, pulls out a knife with a heart carved into the blade, and throws it straight at the guard's face. The man collapses instantly. Now it's just the girl and the killer. She hides inside one of the grape-crushing machines, trembling, whispering prayers to herself. The killer finds her almost immediately. She slams the glass door on his hand, forcing him to pull back. He doesn't even scream. He just looks at the machine, smirks, and flips the switch. The gears start to turn. The blades begin to move. Inside, the girl screams as the crusher closes in. Her voice echoes through the winery until the machine drowns her out. Her blood mixes with the wine, spilling across the floor like a grotesque cocktail. This is the work of the Heart Eyes Killer, the man who only kills couples on Valentine's Day. Now the news explodes across the country. Every TV channel warns couples to stay home. If you love someone, stay alive. Don't celebrate Valentine's Day. The Heart Eyes Killer is back. He's been active for 2 years, striking only during Valentine's week. The media calls him a dark Cupid, a twisted symbol of love gone wrong. Some people take the warning seriously. Others, of course, don't. And that's when we meet Ellie, the main character. Ellie's Valentine's Day is already ruined. Her boyfriend dumped her. And he's already posting selfies with his new girlfriend. Ellie's still stuck in heartbreak mode. Her best friend, Monica, notices. "Still stalking your ex, huh?" Ellie shrugs it off, pretending she's just stressed about work. She's a campaign designer for a jewelry company, and today, she has to present her big Valentine's campaign. But how do you design something romantic when your own heart's been shattered? Ellie's ad ends up being dark, showing couples dying at the end of the promo. Her boss is horrified. This is supposed to sell jewelry, not funerals. Panicking, the boss calls in a freelancer named Jay, creative guy whose last romantic campaign went viral. When Ellie meets Jay, she's instantly annoyed. She worries he's here to take her job. But Jay tells her, "Relax, we're partners. Let's fix this campaign together." Meanwhile, detectives Shaw and Hobbs arrive at the winery crime scene. They find something strange, a wedding ring near the bodies. It doesn't belong to any of the victims. The initials JS are engraved inside. Could it belong to the killer? They bag it as evidence. Back at work, Jay tells Ellie, "We need inspiration. Let's go out, somewhere romantic. Tonight, it's Valentine's Day." That night, she shows up at the restaurant. There's heavy security everywhere because of the killer. The guards check her bag, find a metal straw, and she awkwardly explains, "Paper straws suck. I'm saving the planet." Jay arrives, and the waiter smirks. "Your date's here, ma'am." Ellie quickly corrects him. "He's not my date. We're co-workers." Over champagne, Ellie starts sharing her ideas. Jay listens, but he seems more interested in her than the ad. He leans forward and says, "You know, your work feels like it's coming from heartbreak." She stiffens. "Excuse me?" He continues, "It's just, your campaign feels angry at love." Ellie snaps. "Oh, so you're a romance expert now? Why are you single then?" The tension explodes, and Jay leaves, frustrated. Moments later, Ellie regrets it and runs after him. "Wait, please, I'm sorry. I really need your help. If this campaign fails, I'll lose my job." Before Jay can answer, Ellie spots her ex walking into the restaurant with his new girlfriend. Her jealousy boils over. She grabs Jay's face and kisses him. Her ex freezes. Ellie smirks, introducing Jay as her new boyfriend. Jay plays along instantly, but that one kiss seals their fate. Across the street, a masked figure watches through binoculars. The Hard Eyes Killer. He sees them as a couple. His next targets. Later, Jay drives Ellie home. She can't find her keys, and he offers to help. He tries breaking the window to unlock the door, but ends up cutting his hand. Ellie feels guilty and brings him inside to clean the wound. As she's bandaging him up, they laugh for the first time all night. She tells him she used to study medicine before switching careers. Everything feels calm for a moment, until Ellie remembers something. Her vibrator is still sitting on the table. Mortified, she quickly grabs it and hides it in the closet, without realizing the killer is hiding inside that very closet. He lunges out with his knife. Jay reacts instantly, tackling the killer, but the masked man is strong. Ellie grabs a lamp and smashes it across the killer's head. Both of them run, locking the door behind them. They breathe for just 1 second before the killer starts slashing through the door. They sprint out of the house toward the street, waving at the taxi driver who brought them home. But before they can reach him, the killer stabs the driver through the neck. Ellie screams, "We're not even a couple. You've got the wrong people." The killer doesn't care. Jay tries to call the police, but the killer knocks the phone away and attacks again. Ellie and Jay run through the dark streets until they reach a dead end. The killer grabs Ellie, pinning her against the wall. Jay jumps in to save her but gets knocked out cold. Ellie escapes, limping into an empty carnival ground. She hides inside a carousel, trying not to make a sound. For a while, it's silent. Then creak. The carousel starts spinning on its own. The killer is controlling it, making it turn faster and faster until Ellie gets dizzy and falls. He steps forward, raising his knife, ready to finish her. But the distant sound of sirens cuts through the air. The police arrive just in time. The killer disappears into the darkness. The police comfort her, but the police already arrest Jay. They think they've finally caught the killer. Jay is cuffed, surrounded by flashing lights, as officers whisper and point. To them, it's obvious. Jay is the hard-eyes murderer. Ellie is stunned. How is that even possible? He was with me. She rushes toward Jay, trying to defend him, but his eyes are burning with anger. "I thought we were a team," Jay snaps. "You left me there to die." Ellie fires back, panic spilling out. What was I supposed to do? The killer was coming after me. She turns to Detective Shaw, desperate. "How can you be sure it's him?" Shaw crosses her arms, cold and unmoved. "We found a mask and weapons in his car." Ellie shakes her head violently. No, Jay isn't like that. He's innocent." No one listens. They drag Jay away. Inside the interrogation room, Detective Hobbs slams a photo onto the table. It's a wedding ring found at the winery. The engraving reads J.S. "Jay Simmons," Hobbs says, leaning in. "That your ring?" Jay scoffs. "How could it be? I'm single. I don't even wear jewelry." The detectives aren't convinced. They pull up his travel records. Every city where the Hard-Eyes killer struck, Jay had been nearby. "I'm a freelancer," Jay insists. "I move around for work. It's a coincidence." They don't believe him. Outside the station, Ellie paces back and forth, helpless. No one believes her. That's when a young IT guy named David approaches. He says with a grin, "You look like you could use a drink. How about a date when this is over?" Ellie sighs. "No thanks. I barely escaped with my life. I'm not in the mood for dates." David forces a laugh. "Hey, we're just celebrating that the Hard-Eyes killer is finally caught." Ellie mutters, "You're celebrating." But something still doesn't feel right. Detective Shaw steps closer. "You keep saying you two aren't a couple," she says. "So tell me, why was he targeting you?" Ellie hesitates, then exhales. "I kissed Jay to make my ex jealous. Maybe the killer saw it. Maybe that's why he came after us." Shaw nods slowly. Then the lights go out. The station plunges into darkness. Shaw clicks on her flashlight. "Stay here," she orders, sending an officer to check the main power. Ellie hesitates, then follows the officer down the hallway. The killer lunges from the shadows and stabs the officer, killing him instantly. Ellie dives for the flashlight, but the killer snatches it first and switches it off. Then he turns on night vision goggles. A red glow fills the hallway, revealing every terrified breath Ellie takes. She fights back, smashing a chair into him, then sprints down the corridor. She crashes into Shaw. "The killer's here!" Shaw turns around. The killer is right behind her. Gunshots echo through the station. Jay and Detective Hobbs hear it from the interrogation room. "Stay here," Hobbs says, rushing out. He turns the corner. The killer ambushes him. One brutal strike sends a knife straight into Hobbs' groin. He collapses, screaming. The killer yanks the blade upward. Jay struggles against his cuffs as the killer approaches. He dodges the knife, barely surviving. Suddenly, Ellie bursts in, firing shot after shot. The killer flees into the darkness. Ellie unlocks Jay's cuffs, shaking. They run into the night. Miles later, exhausted and desperate, they stumble upon a drive-in theater. Couples sit in their cars, laughing, kissing, and watching a romantic movie. They have no idea what's coming. From the shadows, the Hard-Eyes killer watches them. He smirks. "Happy Valentine's Day." He slashes a man's throat without warning. Panic erupts. Screams fill the air. The killer moves from car to car, turning romance into carnage. Jay and Ellie hide behind a van. When they open the door to climb in, they freeze. A couple is inside, in the middle of sex. Jay yells, "The killer's coming!" The couple laughs, thinking it's a joke. Seconds later, the killer rips the door open and drives a sword straight through the man's mouth, the blade bursting out the back of his head. Then, in one of the wildest kills of the movie, The killer grabs the woman and shoves the sword deeper, impaling her too. Their bodies collapse together in a grotesque kiss of death. The crowd scatters in terror. Ellie stares at the chaos. We brought him here. We have to end this. Jay nods. Then let's finish it. He flips the killer off from across the lot. Hey, Hard Eyes, come get us! The killer charges. We need weapons, Jay says. Ellie holds up her metal straw. Jay stares. Seriously? They spot the sword still stuck in the van and yank it free. The killer attacks, throwing them both to the ground. He disarms Jay and raises his knife. Ellie grabs a wrench and smashes it into his skull. Blood pours down his mask. The killer grabs her throat, choking her. Jay lunges forward, stabbing the knife into the killer's back and twisting it hard. The killer collapses. They remove the mask. A stranger, just a random psycho obsessed with killing couples. The police arrive. Shaw declares it over. You're heroes. You stopped the Hard Eyes killer. Jay jokes, guess our campaign's going to be killer. He invites Ellie to his hotel to brainstorm before his flight. She declines, exhausted. Shaw appears. Need a ride to the airport, Jay? Ellie doesn't like it, but Jay agrees, then leaves with Shaw. That night, Ellie sits alone, staring at her phone. She calls Monica, crying, I think I'm in love with him. Monica laughs. Then go get him. Go to the airport. Ellie smiles through tears and races through the city. She spots Jay and hugs him from behind. He turns around. It's not Jay. Her phone rings. A distorted voice whispers, looking for Jay? Ellie freezes. If you want him, come to St. Valentine Chapel. Inside the chapel, candles flicker. Jay is tied to a chair. Standing beside him is David. Ellie gasps. You? David smiles. Not just me. Detective Shaw steps out of the shadows. There were always two of us, Shaw says. Killing lovers is our romance. The killer Jay fought earlier was just a copycat. They offer Ellie a choice. Kill herself and save Jay, or live while he dies. Ellie lifts the gun. She whispers, I love you. She fires. At the last second, she twists. The bullet grazes Jay and hits Shaw. Chaos erupts. Jay kills David. Ellie kills Shaw with her metal straw and a Stone Angel's sword. The nightmare ends. 1 year later, Jay and Ellie's campaign becomes a hit. Love that survives everything. At the drive-in, they laugh. Ellie proposes. Jay says yes. Fireworks light the sky. Valentine's Day ends in love, not death.